Alright, this video is about me sweeping the front yard and doing some maintenance on one of the sweepers. And I did the maintenance like 3 days ago, and I've already started on the front yard. So let's get caught up.
Well, to start with, I never realized how slow I rake. But at any rate, the backyard was mostly leaves. The front yard is mostly pine straw. We also have the driveway in the front yard that is basically just sand because we've killed all the grass because we drive over it every time. But those sweepers don't work well at all on sand. They'll sweep that sand up into the hopper just as well as it'll sweep up the pine straw. And all you end up with is a bag full of dirt instead of a bag full of pine straw. So I have to rake where there's like open sand, which is all of the driveway. A lot of the trees we have in the yard are in the beds, and I don't have any oak trees that are out in the open. So I'm not sure if their roots are a problem or not. But I have to rake around all the pine trees because of the roots. I usually rake about a 3-foot space around the pine trees. Otherwise, when I get the sweeper and I'm going around the trees, it's just jumping and bouncing around on top of the roots, and it's not really sweeping anything anyway. You also have to think about the sweeper and what you're pulling it with. So I pull it with a riding lawnmower, and it has a decent turn radius, but by the time you put the sweeper on the back of it, it doesn't really turn that sharp. So you're going to want to rake all the material so that you can actually pick it up with the sweeper. If it's someplace you can't turn around into or you can't turn close enough to get, you're going to need to rake things out. So that is one of the reasons why there's such a big area around this tree, is because it's the only way I can get the sweeper behind the lawnmower to pick up all the pine straw. And then I also have to rake around all of the beds. I don't know if that's required. That's just what I like to do. I like to gather some of that pine straw up and pull it around the edges. It makes them crisp and sharp. Well, here I am again in hyperlapse mode, raking around all the beds, and we're going to get this done really quick, and then we'll be on to sweeping. So the first sweeper I'm going to use is the AgroFab sweeper. And I have the sweeper brushes adjusted close to the ground, so it's the one that does the best job of picking up pine straw. So if you try to use it in tall grass, the sweeper brushes end up getting bound up in the grass, and it just really doesn't do a good job or work at all. So I have edited this so you're only seeing how many times I've gone over the same spot in front of the camera. And now I'm going to rake these into some lines that are easier for the sweeper to pick up. So we stopped cutting the grass at the end of October, and normally don't start cutting the grass again until around the 1st of April. So this grass has been here for 6 months with pine straw falling on it. And unlike leaves, pine straw is like a pencil. It lays close to the ground. Normally the leaves are on top of the grass, while the pine straw seems to have the grass grown around it, which makes it a lot harder to get up. And that's why sometimes I just have to rake an area, even after I've swept it. On this patch you can see how the sweeper gets bound up by material and just starts dragging the pine straw. I'll move the camera someplace else so you can really see how much is being picked up by the sweepers. And believe it or not, the hopper's already full. I'm off to go empty it. So even when it doesn't look like it's working, it's still picking up a lot of stuff. Well, I have swapped out the AgroFab sweeper and I'm now using the Craftsman. Another section done. So I was looking at my analytics, and it looks like only 4% of my viewers have subscribed to my channel. And to that 4%, I want to say thank you very much. And all of the other folks, leave a comment or a thumbs up or something so I know how I'm doing. Well, we have finished the sweeping. Now let's take a look at the piles. So I normally empty the sweeper along the edges of the beds. And there's a lot more piles there than you realize. And I always have one big pile of straw in case I need to put some in the backyard.
I'm always amazed when you get the brown leaves and pine straw out of the grass, how much it already seems so much more green and lush. Well, there you have it. It took one day to do the backyard and one day to do the front yard. But the yard has been raked and swept. It's ready to cut the grass. So I still have a little bit more to do. I still have to check the wheels to make sure the gears are okay and do a little bit more maintenance on the sweepers before I put them away for the year. But there you go. So please like, subscribe, check out all those other playlists, and I'll see you in the next video.